Today is Thursday, February 21st, 2019. The time is 6:30, and the regular meeting of the Greensburg Redevelopment Commission is called to order. At this time, please silence any electronic devices. If we could, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Jody, if you could call roll.
David Weigel, absent. Adam Wenzel,
Present.
Ken Dornick,
Present.
Darren Covington,
Here.
Jody Kaufman, president. Shannon McCullough, absent.
We'll move to approve the minutes of January 17, 2019 regular meeting. Are there any corrections to the minutes at this time? If not, they'll stand approved. Everyone have a chance to look at them? Okay. Old business none, we'll go straight to new business. Mayor, I think you're up first to discuss the finances for the new water treatment plant. Evening.
Tuesday, went to the county redevelopment and they approved $500,000 for the next 3 years. So what we're asking for you guys is to do the next 3 years and the $500,000 from the Honda TIF that we'll be receiving in 4 years. They basically were carrying us over those 3 years until that comes about.
So you're looking for 500 now for the next 3 years?
Yeah, pledged.
But we wouldn't start for 3 years from now,
Yeah.
correct? So
We
we
won't,
would be
it'll
taking.
be 4 years from now.
So 4 years from now before that actually happens.
My understanding is we do years 4, 5, and 6, and the
Right.
county's gonna use years 1, 2,
1, 2, and 3.
Got it.
So, and that's when our bonds will be paid down.
So it'll come in when the bonds come in, correct?
Right.
Okay.
Well, let's
Agreed to 3 years.
well, let's back up a little bit.
Okay.
Why do you need the TIF board to get the money?
Basically to help cut the cost of the rates. Did you receive?
I did.
Okay. And if we don't do anything, it's over 10. If we do this project with the 5 for each one of us, we're down to 6. So that will help cut the rates.
So why is there such a huge difference between the original budget and the updated budget? On
The cost of the project went
Right.
up. Is that what you're talking about? Where the project went up? That's it. There.
that's a significant increase. I'd be curious to know why it's so much.
There's several factors into that. One, project did get a little bigger than originally. Keep in mind that original estimate was done in 2015 or 16, so it's got some age to it. We started doing estimates on this current design. We did a 30% and a 50% and then again a 90%. And each time we saw roughly anywhere from a 5 to a 10% increase. Across the board, a lot of the equipment costs and material costs are going up. And we reached out to several of them, and they're always the common one was that the tariffs are causing us to raise our cost of everything. So there's a lot of concrete, steel, and whatever. So that's been a lot of the cost increase.
When you say 30, 50, 90, what did you mean by that?
We do a 30% design, and then we kind of look at things, and then we get it up to 50%. So the idea behind that is we start out with the cost estimate at the planning level, and as we get farther along the design, we can kind of narrow that down and try to come up, get our costs better in line. There's less unknowns at that point. The closer you get to 100% design, the less unknowns you have. So.
I mean, looks like most of the increase was in non-construction costs. It's like 6 times as much from what was originally estimated, so where,
I don't know what numbers you're looking
this thing almost says.
at. Okay. Well, the original budget did not have any of the engineering cost in it. So I'm not sure why,
Mayor, do we know why it was?
No, I don't.
Yeah, because I just remember at the council, we set the rate increases based upon, the original budget that we were
Right.
presented with.
No, we'll have to do another rate increase is coming up, for the project too.
So who prepared the estimates?
we prepared it.
You're pointing at Darren.
We prepared, the construction estimates, and they're engineering estimates. They do have a contingency built into them as well at this point in time.
Do we know why the engineering costs weren't originally in the estimate?
Bob put that together, I can't answer that, so I don't. Our numbers, when I had given them the original numbers, we stayed within real close to that. I think the original numbers was total engineering for everything was around, just under 3 million, so I think we're still within that. That's not including land acquisition, so, and a few other things, so. The only thing I know that's been added on, is, an O&M training and asset management. And that's something that SRF has kind of added in since we originally put the numbers together. Part of their, when they give, to give the loans, they are now requiring communities to do an asset management plan. So that was added in at the very end, so that's the only thing I know of that was added from the original estimate.
So how accurate do we think that this updated estimate is? Are we gonna have another surprise in a couple of years that's gonna be way off the mark?
Well, we have the bids coming out soon.
The only unknown
Starting
really,
up, so.
the only unknown really that still remains is the actual bids and construction costs. When the contractors, when we can send it out to the contractor.
I was just surprised when I saw it, and how
Right.
different it was. I just wanna make sure that
Right.
much closer.
Yeah, that 11.5 was actually put together and back in 2007. Yeah, that 11.5 is from 2007 estimate. So, and that was more replaceable than, so.
So then if we provide the $500,000, is that per year?
For 3 years.
For 3 years beginning and 4 years?
In 4 years, yes.
Then we're still looking at about a 20% increase in the water bill.
Right.
So Mayor, when are you needing an answer on this?
I really would like to have a pledge tonight that, we pledge that money 4 years from now, that we don't really aren't using, we're using it, we're paying off bonds, but, with that coming up. So that's where I'm at.
With this not being on our project list, obviously we have to have council approve any of our budgets, anything
Right.
on our project list. This is a big line item to try to circumvent the council to get approved. So I think we probably need to have this on a project list for not only council, but there's a few other things that people that need to look at our project list to make sure it's right. So I don't know if we can make that pledge tonight, or with it not being on there, is this something we need to think about going forward with our next project list?
The problem is, the money that we're spending right now is for water and sewer plant. That's the bonds. So the money would be directly going back into the projects that we sponsored before
Well,
with what we got.
but we don't have the water project on our list like the county does. So the county has the water project on their list, that's why they can make that decision. But I see what he's saying, we have to actually get approval from the council members to be able to put it on our list, which I'm not opposed to.
I mean, the council approves the budget, so.
Right. We'd have to take it, basically what I was wanting to pledge, and then we'd have to take it to the county, or the council for approval through an ordinance. Is the way I'm
Do we
understanding it.
know, I mean, I would like to know, what we expect the revenue to be, sort of that far out, and what we expect our expenditures to be that far out.
Yeah, we need to see what's gonna be coming in from that exactly. Not only that, but we're gonna have to get an amendment to our project list in order to do this. I mean, I don't know if there's any way around it, we can't just do it, we're gonna have to get the amendment. So I don't think any of us oppose doing this, but, the legal steps, I don't know if we can make that pledge tonight.
Yeah, we just have to make it right, that's all.
I'm not ready to make that pledge, only because I want to make sure that
Right.
we have the money to do it.
Mr. Mayor, do you know, is Oval planning to come to council anytime soon to give
What-
rates?
They will be here at the next meeting.
Okay.
We can.
We're going, but,
So
if we could have a special meeting next week, can we do that? Then I can have one ball come in.
I mean, why can't we wait till next month? What's the urgency?
Well, we're kind of on a deadline, on getting different things done.
I wanna see what's coming in from the bond first, from the Honda,
Right.
we're gonna be getting from that before we make a pledge personally, cause I know that, you know, with what we've already spent and everything else, I don't wanna mess up any of our current project list, so I wanna see what's coming in personally before we pledge to spend something that we don't know what's coming in. I think we need to do our due diligence on that.
I don't think that any of us have objections to doing the project, it's just,
Right.
I mean, it's kind of blindsided all of us, where none of us knew this was coming. And I guess, and maybe I missed it before,
Did we
And
talk
maybe
about a little
address
bit last month about this?
the difference is under the
We did?
updated budget for design and
My
bidding,
fault.
construction, et cetera. Why was that not included under the original budget? And you don't,
I
that
can't,
was from Humboldt.
Humboldt put that list together.
Because, I mean, that's the sequence, that should have been in there, that's the sequence. And the original budget was not 13 million, it was 16.
I don't know, that they've had those numbers really wrong.
You see what I'm saying?
It is a little concerning that this paperwork's from 3 years ago. Here we are 3 years later, and it's completely different. And we're looking to pledge something even 3 years down the road, further than 3 years. And I think this is where Darren was going earlier. I know we're getting bids now, so hopefully that'll, remain the same. But there's a large fluctuation in the cost of this project, and obviously we're just seeing this, and it's something that's on our project list. So I think it makes us a little apprehensive to just say yes to something we haven't done our due diligence and really studying and know what we're doing and what income's gonna be coming in for us as well for our current projects.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the sooner you can get that,
Is the,
Ashley can get that information to us.
Right, okay.
is the entire project contingent on us answering that today? Like,
I
it
don't-
wouldn't happen if we couldn't do it? I mean,
No.
we're not, that's not
No.
the path we're on here,
No,
but
no,
just
no.
ask, okay.
But it's
I'll make sure that.
there's part of it, I will, yeah.
But no, I mean, the
Right.
idea of it will certainly help all the citizens of Greensburg and the county. I'm definitely liking the idea of it, but I do like
Right.
the black and white steps to get there.
Yes. I think that's the answer. The answer is no. The answer is let us get there, the right way, and we can come back with a solid answer and be comfortable with that.
Okay.
I hope that's
So
a
if
good
we,
enough answer for you.
so if we want to attend the council meeting next Monday, we can hear kind of what Boss to say and then discuss
week
for
before
next. Yeah,
Yeah.
and then discuss for next meeting. idea, I mean, I'm assuming Ashley can kind of get an estimate of what kind of money we're gonna be looking to come in the next 5 years, right?
We
6
can
years.
discuss at the next meeting. We
Yes.
don't have executive session for this.
No, I know that, but I mean, we should have all the
Yeah.
information by March 21st,
Absolutely.
right? That's enough time for Ashley and getting on both stuff, okay.
Oh, absolutely. We can do
Well,
that.
Is that okay, at least to give you
yeah,
an
as far as
idea?
as far as I know, I will make a phone call right now and see if I can get a hold of John and see what the next steps are. Okay.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks for your time.
No problem.
We'll move on to the second item in the line of business, updated project status for Veterans Way Phase 2. Mr. May, how you doing this evening?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Good.
And yourself?
Doing well.
No, you're not.
I know, it's okay. It's okay.
But I appreciate it, sir.
you.
Good evening.
Evening.
I would really love to be standing here having really great news about Veterans Way Phase 2, but I don't. I have some good news, but not great news. The one right-of-way parcel we continue to work on, and we haven't secured that. And I believe we have technically missed our ready for contract date with NDOT for the May letting. So at the moment, NDOT is saying there is no money available in FY19, which starts July of this year and runs through June of next year.
That's year 20.
FY20?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So they're talking about money for July of 20 for the project, assuming we're ready by then. I think it's appropriate to be optimistic that we can be. So that process
What
continues.
does that mean? What does that mean? Does that mean that we could start moving dirt until December of next year, or?
July, probably August, September of next year. If we get a July letting, it takes about 6 weeks after letting to have the notice to proceed and have the contractor on site working.
So realistically, it's probably going to be completed in 2021.
Maybe early 22 even. Now, one of the good things that's happened, NDOT, this is federal money and it comes in chunks from the federal government to the state, and the state administers it. And that money has to be spent on a certain schedule, and if they don't get it spent, it goes back to the feds. So they have systems in place to make sure that money gets spent. They had some money left over this year. I think it was roughly 25 million that they didn't spend this year. So the good news is we asked them, since they have this money left, well, can you fund some more of the right-of-way acquisition? And they said yes, to the tune of, where'd we end up, Mark? 800,000 total?
I updated the estimated cost yet to be incurred for right-of-way plus some right-of-way parcels that we did not get full reimbursement for. And I think I estimated it about $1.1 million.
So we stand to get
So we're gonna get about $880,000.
additional federal
That's
funding.
really good, guys. That's really good. That's
So-
good news.
And the other little piece of good news, we have some utility relocations that are on properties that have already been acquired. And we're gonna go ahead and issue notice to proceeds to those utilities so they can start getting their work done. And the state has agreed to fund, if you recall last month, we talked about 58,000, of which 20% will be, I'm real round to these numbers, but 11,000. And they are gonna go ahead and fund that, so that work can occur. So we can be doing some utility relocation work to get out of the way of the contractor to maybe help compress the construction cycle. So NDOT is telling us right now there's no money in FY20, which is July of this year to June of next year. However, projects sometimes fall behind, so there's a slim chance that next March there could be some money there, like we are this year, where they've got 28 million or whatever, 25 million, whatever that number is. They have been asking cities and towns and counties, can you get your projects ready now? So if that could happen, not guaranteed to happen. So the good news is we got some extra money for right-of-way, and we can go ahead and get our utility moving forward. Other than that, it's just continuing to work on acquiring this last piece of right-of-way. That cover it?
Anyone have any questions on that, Veterans Way? No. Yep, do an update for Lincoln Street, please.
Lincoln Street, feels like we're making progress. All of the sidewalk is in, other than we're working on tying in sidewalks going up to homes. Probably next week, that work will be finished. They are placing topsoil and grading work, so it's starting to look much more finished, and that work should continue. It's dry weather, which we haven't had. But we can start to dress all those things up and be ready when it gets dry enough and get everything graded out properly, and we can get our grass seed sown and that sort of thing. Our street lights are installed and operational.
It looks solid all the way down to McDonald's, it's amazing.
And the residents seem to appreciate that. So that part feels good. The asphalt plants say they will open the 1st of April. With a little bit of luck with weather, maybe by the middle of April, the end of April, hopefully at the latest, we should be done and out of there. We have, after we get the paving down, we have some paper markings to apply and that sort of thing. So as long as those things come together efficiently, we should be looking at opening the road to traffic here in the near future. Perfect. We do have another change order. Sorry about this, always hate to come. It's nothing new, it's nothing that we haven't talked about. We have talked about 1.35 million total project cost is what we think we're looking at. This change order is for $28,203.60, and most of that is for the additional signs and barricades for the fact that we've had them out there longer. There is also, you may recall, we originally had a galvanized and painted finish, and we went to a powder coat finish on our handrail along the creek. That's an additional $4,000, and then we identified a tree opposite Duke towards the north end of our retaining wall that's in very poor condition, and we looked at that, and we actually looked at it when they were setting that street light because it was kind of in the way, and we said we don't need a limb falling out of that tree on our brand new handrail. So we're going to remove that for $2,125. Again, you do not approve these change orders, but you do approve the funding if you are so inclined. And we will, if you approve the funding, we will take it to the Board of Works and seek
So,
their approval of the change
is that
order.
the signage and barricade extension, is that, they're talking about the road is closed? Is that
Yeah.
what we're talking? That's another $22,000 to have that up there?
That is the same cost per day of what we paid for the first 100 and however many days, 175 days was that our first, yeah.
It also allowed us to open up Washington Street across the US.
So because they delayed to get it done, we had to pay more.
We granted
for the
them-
signs, or, am I being unfair about that?
We granted them additional time,
I know we did, but
and therefore the cost for that went up.
it seems like a lot of money for it.
Maybe you'd like to start a sign and barricade business.
If it helps, some of them did tomorrow.
Darren, I wanted to make sure that was done properly. I
I know.
contacted the NDOT, talked to their construction department. They recommended we get the original contract, which I did.
Contract between our
Calculated a daily
contractor
charge
and
for
barricade.
every linear foot of barricade, every different kind of, sign assembly. And even though it's a 60-day extension that we granted them,
Yeah.
because it took it past the first day of December,
The
the
clock
barricades
stops.
had to stay for December, January, and February, and those days don't count against them, so we have to pay for those 90 days of barricade because it went through what they call the non-construction season.
This number was
So we went from
generally,
175 to 300 plus days on lots of
What-
those.
Just being a non-construction guy, it just seemed like a lot of money for us, sorry.
Yeah.
Besides,
We're in the wrong.
Is it 70 cents a foot a day for a barricade? Is that the number we came
No
up with?
change,
I need to
same
start
barricade.
learning how to take down trees.
I don't have it in front of me, I
and
think
put
it's
barricades.
16 cents a foot a day.
that's
the type 3
the
barricade.
contract cost for a barricade. So, is it
Sounds
more money than
reasonable,
we'd
I know
like?
it's-
Yeah. Is it,
They're a lot more expensive than what you're basically leasing them.
Yeah, you lease them by the contract leases.
I know we don't really have a choice in this.
1-year lease pays
Would you
for
like a
cost.
motion for that?
I do know that for a fact.
To provide the funding, yes,
So if they
please.
keep
And
them alive for
then
2
we
seasons, that's
allow the
100%
acquisition
markup.
of funding, right? Is that what we're
Approve
saying?
the amount of $28,203.60 for change order number 4.
Yes,
Is that what you said?
that's what I said.
Okay.
Thank you,
But
Jody.
we don't,
You
I
want-
don't think we approved it, I thought we had to allow
We
the
approved-
board
we
to
had to
approve.
You approved the funding.
Yes,
Yeah.
approving the funding of that money.
Yes. You're not approving the change order.
Okay.
That will go to the board of works.
I'll take that, Jody. Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ken. Anything else with Lincoln Street?
Um,
Mr. Mack?
I will tell you, there is at least one more change order. I think all of the extras are already covered at this point, Mark. Am I correct? But we will have,
I got a couple, 3 things pending.
well, there may be a few more little things. There'll be underruns and overruns. There'll be some items that we didn't use all the units we had in the original contract, and we know we have paving items and some sidewalk items that are gonna go over what was in the original. So, we'll be back at some point. Again, we still think we're around $1,350,000, somewhere. We originally started, our very, very first budgeted estimate was $1,400,000 and something, and we're still optimistic we're gonna be there. We did find concrete on the north end of Lincoln Street, south of Walnut, on the east side. It's just too high, and we can mill it down, but we won't have enough left, so we're gonna tear out about a quarter of a block there. So there will be some cost for that. But it just is necessary for whatever reason that underlying concrete was way high in that quarter of a block as compared to everything else.
Tree roots?
Sorry?
Aren't there a lot of trees right there?
Nope, I don't know why it is. It appears to be an anomaly in the original construction.
I'll say this, we typically, when we get a lot of rain, Main and Lincoln right there on that road is shut down. And I would say this last rain that we got, that was just torrential rain, and we saw roads getting shut down in the county. I was able to drive through there, it was not closed, and it was good to see that obviously the work we're doing on Lincoln Street is already paying off, so.
I appreciate that, and I really wished you were correct, but the problem you encountered there is NDOT's at the small structure
Oh, man.
carrying Main Street over Gas Creek, and why that
But
worked
Washington
better.
and Lincoln used to also be underwater.
Yeah. it's
That
been
worked
a lot.
okay.
So our curbs and gutters are what did it,
Yeah.
so we just wanna make a side note of that our projects make a difference, so.
Appreciate the thought.
On a side note, Gas Creek is dammed up at Central Bridge. On the north side.
We are getting some little ponding because we've got to let, where water cannot get up onto the gutter or get in the inlets, and it has to get that deep to get out until we get the surface
So we
put
can
on.
surface it.
That's what.
And then it'll flow directly to the inlets. It should be even better than it is now.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Wait, you didn't finish the motion, you have to vote.
Oh, go ahead, I'm sorry.
You're the boss, you say.
Please,
All
let's take
those
it.
that we first and
All
second.
those
we're
in
gonna vote.
favor of passing the amount of $28,203, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Thank you,
The
Ron.
other item, when you get to claims, there is a pay application for Lincoln Street that you're going to consider for payment. It has been reviewed and certified by me, is correct?
Is that the Globe Asphalt?
Yes.
Okay.
And just for, you're holding $114,571 and change in retainage for the work completed to date. So when we get all the work done, maybe on the last pay application, we include that retainage also, whatever retainage comes to there.
Okay, I see that. Thank you. Appreciate it.
One other thing, Adam, if you look at that claim,
Yes.
you will notice that we have exhausted the 257 account.
Yeah, I saw that.
So from going forward, plus whatever that amount is listed on there for the 803, you'll be, or
802.
okay, you'll be picking up 100% from now on.
Okay.
And the 257, as a reminder, was the 452,000 from the state that you also moved 452 into, so there was 904,000